that isn't reported because people don't like to frame anything positively for President Trump when they say, hey, he walked away from that summit with nothing. And I say, it's easy to argue, well, he got a commitment to do this or a commitment to do that. But realistically, all of the commitments they made, the commitments we made, are easily reversible. So it's not really about that. What the president did is that they have redefined the situation from two mortal enemies, one who must win and the other one must lose, to two potential friends who have taken the first few friendship, something where we win, they win, and frankly, they win a lot bigger than we win if this plays out right. So the whole reframing from enemies to probably friends who can help each other is what the president walked away with, and it's completely ignored. And when we're essentially safer from nuclear war now, and his critics said, "What? That's crazy." And I say, who has a nuclear war with their ally? Who bombs somebody who has just offered to help rebuild your country? Who becomes an enemy with somebody who's got their hand out literally and figuratively? It's the sort of thing that just doesn't really happen. So he reframed the situation in a way that effectively made a nuclear war no longer have a purpose. Who bombs their friends? It just doesn't happen. And as long as we're on that path, even tentatively, and everybody would agree that much more would need to be done to make it real, but as long as you're on the path to mutual benefit, nobody fights. Nobody. It just doesn't happen. And that, I think, is the biggest unreported story.
You're listening to The Alex Jones Show. From the Infowars.com studios, you're listening to The Alex Jones Show. And now, your host, Paul Joseph Watson.
We're back. It is the 4th hour live of The Alex Jones Show. I talk about the most harmful brand of fake news, which routinely comes from CNN. And I was just making the point before the break. The invasion of Libya, which led to the migrant crisis, which led to the mass sexual assaults, the explosion in violent crime, which led to the Manchester bombing that killed 22 people, half of them children. Who was pushing for that invasion? Who was endorsing that invasion? Who was legitimizing that invasion? Who was saying, oh, don't worry, it's not going to be anything like Iraq? Turns out it was completely the same as Iraq. It destabilized the entire region, led to hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of displaced people. And once again, we were supporting basically the extremist side in the conflict. Yes, Saddam Hussein was a dictator. Yes, Colonel Gaddafi was a dictator. But again, in the case of Libya, directly supporting groups which were directly affiliated, I'm talking about the Libyan Islamic Fighting Group, with Al-Qaeda, with Islamic jihadists. Who was soft-soaping it? Who was justifying it? It was CNN. It was their chief national security analyst, Peter Bergen, back in March 2011 saying, don't worry, everyone, it's going to be nothing like Iraq. Who was saying the opposite? Who was saying, no, yet another intervention in the Middle East or North Africa is going to be an absolute disaster? Gaddafi's warned us. In fact, let's throw up one of these headlines right now. ISIS threatens to send 500,000 migrants to Europe as a psychological weapon in chilling echo of Gaddafi's prophecy that the Mediterranean will become a sea of chaos. Now, he said this before the invasion. Let's look at another headline out of The Guardian. Gaddafi warned Blair his ousting would open door to jihadis. Transcript of 2011 call revealed Libyan dictator predicted extremists would use his departure to start war in Mediterranean. So he was warning us. Infowars.com was warning everyone, don't set sail on another ridiculous, absurd, dangerous invasion of a foreign country, which destabilized the region and led to exactly what we predicted it would lead to. We're not just talking about the attack on Manchester. There's also been numerous other attacks in Europe. The Paris massacre, they exploited the migrant wave, the refugee wave in that instance to fake their passports and get through border controls. So it all happened exactly as we said it would happen. CNN said, don't worry, everybody, it's going to be fine. Who was putting out the fake news then, CNN? Who puts out the most harmful fake news on a routine basis? Let's look at another example right now. This is up on Infowars.com. CNN slammed for championing hijab-wearing Barbie. Yes, the hijab-wearing Barbie is back again. Fake news network CNN promoted a piece championing toy maker Mattel's new hijab-wearing Barbie doll Monday. It did not go down well with Americans. The doll, which was first seen last year, is now in stores as part of Mattel's Shiro line of toys. Yeah, I'll tell you who the real Shiros are. The women who go to jail, the women who are tortured in prison in Iran, in Indonesia, in these other Muslim countries for removing the veil. They're the real Shiros, CNN. Yet CNN reveled in promoting the toy, calling it a broader effort by Mattel to diversify the Barbie line. And they also published a written article by Olympic fencer Ibhaj Mohammed, who is Linda Sarsour in a leotard, the Olympic athlete, in which she talked about how great the doll was, how great the hijab is, slammed the Trump administration. So CNN gave a platform to this individual to tell everyone how great the hijab is. Again, this is CNN pushing actual harmful fake news, which puts women at risk of torture and imprisonment. If they're creating a narrative that the hijab is a symbol of women's empowerment, which it isn't, that is fake news. That is putting people at actual risk. People in Iran, in fact, there was an article, Iranian anti-hijab female protester jailed for 2 years. A brave anti-hijab activist in Iran who protested against the mandatory wearing of the Islamic headscarf has been sentenced to 2 years in prison. That was earlier this year. No, CNN says it's great, everybody should wear it. And again, I've done videos about this. The very first Arab feminist group from over 100 years ago, the Egyptian Feminist Union, this was an Arab feminist group in Egypt. They made removing the veil the symbol of their entire campaign. They wanted to get female university education. It was banned at the time. They were ultimately successful decades later, but at the very inception of their movement, they made removing the veil the symbol of women's empowerment. Wearing the veil is not a symbol of women's empowerment, CNN. This is actually harmful, this crap that you're putting out on a regular basis. Let's look at what a Muslim reformist said about this. Let's pull up this article. This is out of the New York Times. It actually gave someone a platform to make a common sense argument. Wearing the hijab in solidarity perpetuates oppression, by Azra Namani, a Muslim reformist. She said, quote, "The purity culture covers, segregates, subordinates, silences, jails and kills women and girls around the world." She gives several examples. In India, a father killed his daughter, 4 years old, smashing her head against the floor when her scarf slipped from her head during dinner. In Ontario, a few years ago, a man strangled his 16-year-old sister when she defied their father. In November, this is a couple of years ago now, a former University of Missouri instructor dragged a female relative, 14 years old, out of school by the hair when he discovered she hadn't covered her hair. So again, people in Iran are going to prison for this. Young girls as young as 4 years old are being killed for not wearing the hijab, for accidentally letting it slip from their head. Oh, but CNN says it's a symbol of women's empowerment. No, it isn't. That's fake news. Listen to actual Muslims risking their lives on the streets to protest against this. Watch videos of the Sharia police in Indonesia patrolling the streets, whipping women who don't have their headscarf just right. Okay, that's the reality of the hijab, CNN. Look at ISIS-controlled areas in Syria. As soon as the ISIS fighters, the jihadist militants, are kicked out of the area, they film the women. What do the women do? Remove their hijabs, burn them, scream and holler in celebration. Okay, this is all in the videos I made about the hijab. Go on my YouTube channel, search hijab. It's all there. You can watch it all for yourselves. So this is not a symbol of feminism, CNN. This is not a symbol of women's empowerment. In Sweden, in these migrant-dominated areas, some shops are now refusing service to women who don't wear hijabs, okay? It's not a symbol of female empowerment, yet CNN gives a platform to Linda Sarsour and a leotard, this Olympic athlete, to say how great it is. And who created the first hijab Barbie? It was some left-wing feminist, I think in Seattle or Portland, that then got media attention for it. So it's the media attention that normalizes this that led to Mattel creating it in the interest of diversity. No, it's the ultimate patriarchal, not just symbol. It's a tool of oppression. It's used to oppress women across the Middle East, across North Africa. And CNN saying that it's a symbol of women's empowerment, giving people platforms to promote it as normal and something to be encouraged. That is fake news. That is harmful. You're disgracing the brave actions of all these women throughout Iran, throughout these other countries, risking their freedom, their livelihood, in many cases their lives, to stand up and say, no, this isn't women's empowerment. This is a tool of oppression. We're real feminists. We're standing against it in the face of CNN's fake news.
The President of the United States is racist.
He's a punk. He's a dog. He's a pig.
And he can suck my
He's a con, a bullshit artist, a mutt.
Kiss my mother as you bitch punk sucker.
The President of the United States is a weak man.
He's not only unfit to be president. In my book, his lack of empathy, his lack of leadership, his lack of courage, he's unfit to be human.
He is clearly trying to ignite a civil war in this country.
This is CNN.
My democracy has value. Yes, I have thought about blowing up the White House.
Donald J. Trump is President of the United States.
I've got a big announcement here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very, very excited about it. You saw Dan Rather come out and, demonize me and attack what we're doing here at InfoWars and call us fake news. But, he's the fake news. And he also recently came out and said that Trump is mean like a Wolverine. So earlier this week, I said, hey, let's put out Trump as a Wolverine, mean like a Wolverine, Infowars.com. Beautiful new red shirt. Incredible job with the graphics crew. They are amazing. $19.95, high quality shirt. It's being printed right now. They'll be shipping out next week. Get your order in. This is a limited edition. This needs to be the new viral shirt. Now, I think I got another idea today, and we've got printing right here in Texas now, so we can get this by next week as well. I just put in a giant order because I saw Walmart boycott launched over Impeach 45 clothing. Don't boycott Walmart over that. Just say Walmart. I don't care if they copy our shirt. Put out a re-elect 45. Let's engage in that. So they've got their Impeach 45. You go to InfoWarsStore.com. We have re-elect 45 with an American flag, very triggering, on the right arm and on the back. Infowars.com. I am the resistance. I am the resistance. These shirts have just been hitting me, and I knew Hillary for prison. I saw a handmade sign in a yard about, like 3 years before the election. They knew she'd run. It was like, and then I remember thinking, or 2 years before, and I thought, we've got to do that. And we went to the RNC, and a third of the people were wearing it. It was the chance. We had planes flying around saying it behind them. It was incredible. It was a magic moment. And I know when something's going to be a hit. So they've got their Impeach 45, re-elect 45, baseball shirt style, white, blue, and red, white, and blue, and then black on white. I am the resistance. It's an awesome shirt, $19.95, high quality fabric, made right here in America, printed in America. So it's costing us $6, $7 to do that in America. We do it for $3 in Mexico. So it's there. Help fund the operation. Re-elect 45, InfoWarsStore.com, InfoWarsLife.com, or 888-253-3139. And mean like a Wolverine. These shirts are both so good, I don't know which one's going to be a bestseller. And right through the 4th of July, free shipping across the store, 50% off Rainforest, which we just went out and said, what are the top nootropics? Okay, here they are. Well, why is it $60? There's like $10 a product in this. I'll just make it even stronger, sell it for $30. When it's discounted, it's like $19.95. It's $19.95 right now. Infowarsstore.com with free shipping. You can't beat that. Throughout this entire July 4th, Second American Revolution super sale.
You're listening to The Alex Jones Show. Live from the Infowars.com studios, you're listening to The Alex Jones Show. And now, your host, Paul Joseph Watson.
We're back. It's fourth hour of the Alex Jones Show. Before we get back into the news, I want to tell you about some of the great specials at InfoWarsStore.com, because the level of butthurt that gets triggered when you buy these products is just completely off the charts. It's just unmentionable, unmeasurable, the amount of butthurt that CNN experiences when you buy these products, because they can't get to us with the ad boycotts. They've tried, they can't do it. Because again, we're only dependent on you getting the products. We're not dependent on outside advertisers. So we have Secret 12 at 40% off at InfoWarsStore.com right now. It's time to feel the power of one of the most popular formulas available from InfoWars Life with Secret 12 at 40% off. It is an advanced vitamin B12 proprietary formula that brings you all the power of vitamin B12 without the fillers found in similar products. This is pure stuff. It uses specifically chosen forms of vitamin B12 to bring you the best bioactive characteristics. Secret 12 can help encourage normal energy levels in a pure and advanced formula for less. It is available right now at 40% off at InfoWarsStore.com, where we also have the Beat the Heat special. Get the vitamins you need with 40% off winter sun. As the temperatures rise into the triple digits, we may find ourselves taking shelter in the AC. While it provides some comfort, that also means we're missing out on the essential sunshine and vitamins we need daily. And we've got winter sun right now to give your body the vitamin D it needs at 40% off without the uncomfortable sunburn. It is created with powerful nutrient-dense lichen oil. It's the easiest way to bring the power of the sun into your home. And everyone needs their vitamin D. It's 40% off right now. Again, you're going to buy these products anyway. It's very highly concentrated. Look at those reviews. 693 reviews. We've got a 4.9 on that. You don't even get that on Amazon. 98% of respondents would recommend this to a friend. They're all independent third-party reviews from people who've got the product, loved it, reordered it, will definitely buy again and again. You can see this, love this stuff. They're all independent reviews from our great supporters who have got this product. Again, you should be taking this stuff anyway. So why not get it from us? Why not get it from us with a massive 40% discount? And why not enjoy the butthurt, the sheer relentless butthurt that causes CNN by getting winter sun for 40% off at InfoWarsStore.com. Please support this network today. I'm going to get into more of the migrant stuff in the next segment because, of course, Spain has become the epicenter of that. We see the videos coming out of Spain, the boats invading the beach. Alex has talked about it today. There's new news on that, which I'm going to get into. But let's talk about Twitter, because obviously today we had a story up on Infowars.com. Twitter suspends GOP Senate candidate for defending himself against Russian agent claims. This was Austin Peterson, the candidate in the Republican Party's primary for U.S. Senate race in Missouri. He got into an exchange with basically a blue-tick leftist called Caroline O, who didn't even dare to give her full name, of Share Blue Media, or Sharia Blue Media, as some people call it. So basically, she got triggered by Peterson tweeting, quote, "Our campaign accepts Bitcoin contributions." Then she went on a rant about how accepting Bitcoin must mean that you're a Russian agent, because all these people are fevered hysterics and they think literally everything is Russian bots. She said, "Interesting timing here. Russian hackers targeted Claire McGaskill in August 2017. The next month, one of her GOP opponents in Missouri rolled out this new ad." It wasn't even an ad. It was just asking for Bitcoin donations. So Peterson responded by tweeting a GIF image, which was within Twitter's own GIF selection. He didn't even pull it from the internet or create it, of Soviet dictator Joseph Stalin with the words, "Off to the Gulag." which is obviously a satirical joke based around the premise that if he was in with the Russians, he would have the power to send her off to the gulag. It's a joke. I'm sorry, you can only make jokes on Twitter if you're talking about molesting children like James Gunn. Then it's acceptable. Then everyone rallies to your defense. You make a political joke based on something that happened, nearly 100 years ago. No, banned. 12 hours suspension because the tweet was mass reported. So he had to log in, delete the tweet. He was still suspended for 12 hours at the key critical moment of this primary race. So this is Twitter, and this is what he accused them of. He accused Twitter and Democratic-aligned super PACs of interfering with the federal Senate race in Missouri by temporarily blocking, these are his words, my account due to a picture I shared which was located within Twitter's own GIF file collection. So he was suspended at a critical moment simply because a satirical political joke based around Stalin's gulags was mass reported by hysterical far leftists, and he was gone for 12 hours during that critical juncture. So is that Twitter interfering in an election? Everybody has hysterical fever dreams about Russian bots interfering with everything on Twitter, even though there's no evidence to back it up that they're having any kind of massive impact. Twitter interferes, nobody says a word. You can only joke about molesting children on Twitter. That's fine, so long as you're left-wing, that's completely fine. Oh, the other thing as well on this, misogyny. We always hear on Twitter about the scourge, the plague of hateful misogyny from the right wing against women. Well, here's a headline. Neutral platform Twitter shrugs as verified account calls Melania Trump hoe-bag hooker. Oh, so it's okay to be hateful and misogynistic towards women so long as the target is a conservative or is the wife of Donald Trump. Then it's fine. Again, it's okay when we do it. That's their whole mantra. It's okay when we do it. They'll point the finger all day long at anyone for criticizing a woman. I mean, you criticize a feminist on Twitter, the white knights come running and accuse you of misogyny for humiliating her for her dumb opinion. But this guy, Mark Roberts, the congressional candidate in Oregon, suggested Monday that First Lady Melania Trump is a sex worker. Remember what they said about Barron Trump, the actor Peter Fonda? Again, openly encouraging, inciting him to be molested. That's fine. Wasn't even a joke. That's fine. He calls Melania Trump a sex worker. The post went mega viral on Twitter. The Silicon Valley company's inaction provides a clear view of how its hate speech rules are selectively enforced only against conservatives and populists. And again, to be clear, there you see Peter Fonda from about a month back with his paedophile tweets. Nothing happened to him. Openly encouraging people to go to schools where ICE agents have kids and harass the kids. Okay, you can call for the harassment of children on Twitter. You can call for the molestation of children on Twitter. If you're a blue-tick leftist, nothing happens. Nothing happened to his account. Didn't even get suspended. If you tweet a GIF joke based on Joseph Stalin at the height of a key Senate race, suspended for 12 hours. And he's probably lucky he hasn't been banned by now. This is the double standard that pisses people off. So this guy, Mark Roberts, basically called Melania Trump a prostitute. Nobody cares. Nothing happened to him. But God forbid you challenge the opinion of Amy Schumer or Chelsea Handler. You're an evil misogynist. And of course, this is what we've covered before. Who's running the new hate speech system, which Twitter seeks to introduce? It's a hysterical far leftist who's tweeted numerous times about how she hates Donald Trump. A woman called Dr. Rebecca Trumbull. I went through her previous tweets last night. She literally wore a pussy hat and attended the Women's March. This is the woman who now decides what the algorithm for Twitter denotes as hate speech. Gee, what could possibly go wrong? Absolutely incredible. Meanwhile, BuzzFeed, and this is she was hired because Twitter said they had a problem with hate speech. BuzzFeed comes out with an article and says, oh, conservatives aren't being shadow banned. No, it's only content which, quote, distracts from the conversation that's being shadow banned. Okay, so who decides what distracts from the conversation? Oh, this far left, pussy hat wearing, women's march attending, anti-Trump hysterical academic. Oh, that's fine. That seems very neutral, very impartial, doesn't it? Of course, the truth is that term, distracting from the conversation, is completely subjective. So that's why it is shadow banning. Absolutely incredible. We'll be back. It's the Alex Jones Show Live. Don't go away.
Over a year in the making, produced by one of the top organic firms in the country, that if you want proven studies and documentation, I'm not going to speak for hours, just on the files I have here, of what this is proven to do, the ingredients in this. This is the ultimate immune system boost for this time of year, any time of the year. But Immune Wall is incredible. And folks, other formulas that aren't even as good are $70, $80. It's a great deal at $39. Immune Wall, beta-glucans, olive leaf, and so much more. It is concentrated. You need to go read what is in here. The mushroom blend of the most expensive, highest quality mushrooms that just incredibly accelerate. A citrus peel blend. I mean, this is the next level. It's now available, ladies and gentlemen, Immune Wall. I think it's beyond seasonal. Beta, glucan, olive leaf, and more. Immune Wall, InfoWarsStore.com, InfoWarsLife.com, or 888-253-3139. Ladies and gentlemen, our team is constantly on the lookout for newer and better ways to improve our products. That's why we're bringing you a brand new version of one of the newest fan favorite products, the Real Red Pill Plus. The Real Red Pill Plus is an all-new version of the powerhouse Pregnenolone product. It features the same great formula that supports your heart, brain, healthy aging process with an all-new natural caffeine boost included. A powerful Pregnenolone base, the Real Red Pill, has quickly become one of our fellow InfoWarriors' favorite products. Now, with an extra proprietary energy blend inside, including green tea extract, yerba mate, leaf extract, and more, you can get that extra pick-me-up while supporting your mind and body in a healthy way. It's got all the great stuff that Real Red Pill has, but it's also got the boost in it. Get the Real Red Pill Plus at InfoWarsStore.com. 2.5 years ago, Hillary Clinton dubbed myself and InfoWars as fake news. Since then, the Democrats in Congress, CNN, MSNBC have all lobbied to keep me from publishing books, to have us kicked offline from Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, and they've had some success. Not only are they the real fake news and working for the communist Chinese and others to overthrow this country, they're also working to destroy the First Amendment here in America. But here at InfoWars, we've been expanding on radio and TV thanks to your support, and we've launched a new powerful free app called InfoWars Official. InfoWars Official is a state-of-the-art app with live streaming of podcasts, my broadcast, David Knight Show, The War Room with Roger Stone and Owen Schroyer, and so many other broadcasts that we're launching as we speak. It's got live news feeds, live news alerts. It's got push notifications if you click to get them, so you know we go live or have special events. This is the forbidden app. This is what they demonize. This is what they don't want you to see. Think for yourselves. Go find out why InfoWars is so verboten and why the system openly is lobbying to have us shut down. Every enemy of capitalism, every enemy of America, every globalist corporation hates InfoWars for one reason. We are aware of their operation, and we are effective in challenging them and awakening our fellow humans. That's why every platform we've got is critical in the fight, and this new weapon is incredible. Whatever you do, ladies and gentlemen, go download the official InfoWars app today, and then send out on your email, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, links to everybody saying, hey, here's the forbidden InfoWars platform. Here's what the globalists want shut down. Here's what they don't want you to hear, read, and see. It's the InfoWars official app, taken on the globalist at point-blank range. And with your help spreading it, and with your help downloading it, we are unstoppable.
You're listening to The Alex Jones Show. You found it, the tip of the spear. It is The Alex Jones Show. And now, your host, Paul Joseph Watson.
We're back. It is the final segment of the fourth hour of The Alex Jones Show. Big story up on Infowars.com right now. Spanish police warn 50,000 migrants waiting in Morocco to invade Spain. Now, if you've seen the video of these migrants, we've posted numerous examples of it. Not many women and children there, are there? Not many. Police sources are warning that 50,000 illegal migrants from sub-Saharan Africa are waiting in Morocco to invade Spain. Now, this is because they've made deals with the people smugglers. The people smugglers are promising them that Spain is their paradise, and they're all bottlenecked up in Morocco waiting to cross into Spain because basically Spain just got a new socialist government which gave them the green light to do so, despite all the problems for the past 3 years that this has caused Europe. According to a report in Spanish newspaper El Mundo, North Africa is becoming a pressure cooker, with at least 50,000 African migrants desperate to cross into the European country via the Strait of Gibraltar. They're saying it's 50,000 right now. That number continues to grow. These men are becoming more violent in their efforts to reach Europe. And remember, so far in 2018, these are the official figures, 21,000 arrivals so far in Spain. That's quickened since the socialist government gave them the green light. But again, these numbers are wrong. These numbers are way lower than the registered. So it could be as much as 3 times that number, suggesting the true migration figures could be far higher. Now, of course, last week we had 800 sub-Saharan migrants trying to cross the border between Morocco and the Spanish enclave of Ceuta, throwing feces, burning quicklime, stones and Molotov cocktails at police. Yes, they're actually throwing crap at police, using saws, using homemade flamethrowers to try to get through these flimsy barriers. 600 of them succeeded in crossing the border. We posted the video of that last week. They're screaming wildly. They're running down the streets. Complete and absolute chaos and bedlam. And it's going to happen over and over again. Not just the beach arrivals, but now 50,000 illegals bottlenecked between Morocco and Spain waiting to arrive. And that's just through that one entry port alone. That's the other entry port. You see the sea route, where they just get on dinghies and get ashore because the criminal people smugglers are conspiring with the NGOs to have them rescued off the coast of Libya. People are not rescued near Spain, near Italy. They're not drowning, although Italy has halved the drowning deaths. So again, Italy institutes strong border controls to protect their country, to protect their culture. It results in migrant drowning deaths being halved. Meanwhile, Spain incentivizes the migrants to make that dangerous journey, which you just saw on the dinghy boat there. More migrants are going to die, okay? The real humanitarian option is to have